I normally start by introducing Mr. Tola with a story, So let me guys tell you. So before I moved to Abuja, I've been watching Mr. Tola on YouTube, right? So that's as far back as 2018 or 2019, I can't remember. So the part of the creative space or brand he talks about, he wasn't really talking about it from a hustle point. I don't know if you get my point. Like, you see a lot of content creators, they discuss some ideas from a hustle point of view. Like, so you suppose they do 5 keys to unlock this one padlock, 22 key points. Like, I don't know if you get my point. Like, it's hush, more like let's just get this. So how I made my first 1 million in 1 week, those kind of conversations. So yeah, it was a bit more intentional, based on how you relate to the people you are working for and how you're going to communicate a certain level of value. All right. So he talked about pricing, then he talked about branding for purpose. There are just a whole lot that he shared there, and you're passionate about them. So when I moved to Abuja, I saw Jame. I think Jame Faith, a lot of you know him, told me that I know Tola, and I took him his last birthday pictures. He was there. Okay. So I think it was during COVID that I reached out to him. We had our first event, and which was amazing. He came. I wasn't expecting. In fact, like you said, I just network, right? I don't expect you to, but then I was praying to God, right? Please, sir, please, God. So when he responded, I said, thank God, But since then, I followed his work. When it comes to competence, he has demonstrated, that level of competence to the highest point you can ever think of, right? So far Nigeria is concerned, he made me read. I used to have design magazines, right? But anything he says, I go and do it. He made me read those magazines. I used to take football, like graphics, like one of those things. He made the point, ads on DSTV, like he has a very, very interesting way to bring, the reality, the field part of it, not the one they told you on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So it has a way of bringing that to life. And also, so going down the line, I got to see some more of his works. And I think he's one of the best, if not the greatest, creative entrepreneur, brand specialist. And I can go on and on. He's a father, he's a friend to many of us, and he understands the game. Been there, done that, and still doing that. So, audience, wherever you are, put your hands together once more again for Mr. Tola. It's good to finally, it's good to, people online are clapping. I see your hands. So thank you so much for always coming, right? Thank you so much for always coming. I don't take that for granted. Ask them. I used to discuss your matter every day. I mean, now anytime we have a call, it's always about the things I share with you. Your son is also here, Mario.
Oh yeah.
Okay, he's one on yellow.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, so he's one that's clapping the most. I hope. Mario, you can say hi to your daddy now.
Hey Mario, how you doing? Great.
All right, thank you very much. And Mr. Tola is loved by all of us. I mean, we'll pull up a lot of surprises on you this year. Don't worry. Maybe on your birthday you'll be shocked. You might need to tell your wife, everybody this is about to shock me. That shock you announce. So a lot of it are going to come your way this year. Thank you so much for everything you've done. All the sacrifices, how you didn't stay in Canada, and I mean, if you were still in Canada, I do not know, but you might want to hint us on that, because that story have not left my mind. I know a lot of people don't know about that, and we'll just go right straight into it. I mean, you can discuss with us the transition, how your career transitioned, and basically I'm very sure we're going to learn a thing or two from that. How your career changed and the major lessons you learned in that journey.
So how far back do you want me to go?
As far back as when you were in secondary school.
Secondary school. And the thing is that secondary school was like a wilderness for me, because I always say this, that I've always been artistic, creative.
Okay.
Since I was very young, since I can remember, I always loved to draw. And I said this then, it wasn't cool to draw.
Oh, wow.
No, because I grew up in the 80s, so it wasn't really cool to draw, because then if you knew how to do something, the next thing was your parents thinking of where that road will lead to.
Yeah.
And not too many parents wanted you to be an artist, because then art didn't have that many expressions.
Yeah.
So there wasn't anything like doing animation or illustration for books or stuff. Everything was just very rigid. So I wasn't really encouraged to explore that.
Oh.
So by the time I got to secondary school, I had stopped altogether, that artistic part of me. And I went into university, studied architecture, and that in itself too was very
rigid.
I didn't want to, but it was the best thing I could do.
That is closest
to anything that had to do with expressing yourself, drawing or doing anything creative. But then it was a stressful 4 years. But then by some means I had the opportunity to go to Canada.
Oh, wow.
And this was the first time I was able to do schooling the way schooling should be done.
Wow.
You understand? Where the teacher is not always in front of you.
Okay.
The teacher is beside you. The teacher talks to you like we are talking right now. The teacher knows your name.
Wow.
You call the teacher by the first name. And so then was the first time that I actually had people in an academic environment validate what I was doing as an artist.
Oh, wow.
And that's where the graphic design thing kind of strengthened in that area, where I could say, this guy is a professor and he sees what I'm doing is good and he's telling me to continue doing it. And they, when I was in Canada, they recommended me for a lot of things. I was asked to sit on a board of judges for a competition. First time I had to do such a thing. And this was me thinking that what I knew how to do as an artist was of little value. So when I finished in school there, the temptation was to stay. Everybody was planning to stay, extend their... But for me, it was always about coming back to Nigeria to serve, you understand, to use this skill. Because all I saw in Canada was everywhere was kind of saturated with good work already. And I knew that in Nigeria, design was nothing to write home about. So I knew that this was the place to come and establish. And so for me, it wasn't so much of a hard decision coming back, because I just knew that I didn't have any space there. There was more space here for me to work as a designer. And so I came back and I started working and set up my company. Although there's been challenges, but that has been the transition.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. Alpha. So thank you very much for that. So now, right, we like I said, there's this hustle culture, right? There's this, let's get it fast, let's get it done. There's this word that they use, make we blow, right? So, everybody just wants to get, I think I was discussing that with Logic, everybody just wants to get it done fast, put out something out there, let them see me. There's this, you open Instagram, things are flying up and down, people are pressure, you wake up in the morning, by the time you go home, you don't even know you can't differentiate what is good. Even clients can't differentiate what is good and what is bad, right? So I don't know if you experienced that during your days, like during the early days in Nigeria, and how were you able to manage, to push through that? Because I know there are a lot of guys out there, a lot of, things going on. Was there anything like that? And how were you able to, when to put out and when not to put out? I know a lot of people want to know.
Yeah.
What to put out and what not to put out.
See, when I was in my... Because I didn't start designing till I was 24.
Wow.
And That was about 2004. And there was no putting out.
Okay.
You understand? Putting out was not a thing. It didn't exist. You know, they're not putting out. Those platforms did not particularly exist then. There was a platform called MySpace, but MySpace was filled with people that had dreams of blowing up in music. So a lot of people were using it as a music enhancing platform. So there was no Instagram, no WhatsApp, no Twitter, no any of those things. So there was no putting out. And so, you see, I tell people that I have a lot of sympathy for people that have to go through their formative years in this era. Because now you are walking in public. Everybody is seeing you make your first mistakes.
Wow.
And so it can be very pressure filled. Like the first design I ever did, nobody saw it. I saw it. And I judged it, and it was good enough for me. But now, if someone does their first design, they put it out there, and somebody's cutting them at the knees immediately the next day, and they're like saying, design is not for me. But trust me, if you saw my first design, you will say design is not for me. You understand? But then because I judged myself, I was satisfied, and I continued to go from there. So I didn't have that hustle culture. That hustle culture was not there because we weren't seeing other people's lives. We weren't. You had privacy, and you know, so people had fences, and that saved you mentally. You understand? So that's something people don't have now. There's pressure. My 12-year-old daughter has pressure already because she's seeing what other 12-year-olds are doing. Wow. You understand? So I didn't have that, and that allowed me to grow naturally. So there wasn't any haste in growing because you didn't know how fast the next guy grew. You understand? So you were in your own world. And so why I say I have a lot of sympathy is because I cannot truly understand. Because when you understand something, when you call it empathy, I can't empathize with the pressure people are feeling now. And that's why when I hear people, a lot of people contact me from day to day telling me I am 21 years old and I feel like I'm running out of time. When I was 21 years old, I didn't even know what I wanted to do with my life. You understand what I'm saying? I was still enjoying life. I was still playing. But now the 21-year-old, number one, wants to move out, wants to have a particular amount of money, wants to have his own apartment, wants to blow. That didn't exist, you understand? So there's so much pressure. But in perspective, the 21-year-old doesn't even know that he or she, you are still a baby. You are still young. You feel very old. But then, trust me, by the time you are 41, you realize, man, when I was 21, I was really young. You understand what I'm saying? So the 21-year-olds are not taking chances. They are not playing. They are not adventurous. They are not making mistakes. You understand? Because everything has to be brand perfect from very young.
Do you think that is a good thing? Like, do you think that is a good thing?
It's a good thing. It's a good thing when you look at it visually. Okay. Visually is a good thing. It's good for optics. When you hear that somebody is 21 years old and he has his company that is making 7 figures every week. Optically, it looks good. You understand? It looks good, but internally, it's very ugly. You understand? Because that person is being robbed of something integral. You understand? So I don't think, it's very easy to look at 21-year-olds right now and 20-something-year-olds right now and kind of admire them and say, oh, this person has achieved a lot. But what you are not seeing is what they are giving up to achieve that. And those are things that they can never get back again. You understand? Those are things that will never...
What they are giving up to achieve that?
Yeah, it's more than what they are achieving.
Wow.
It's way more than what they are achieving. So when you have... See, when you're in your 20s, you have liberty. And that's what people don't understand. You have the liberty of changing your mind and trying out new things and making mistakes because you don't expect you to, in your 20s, to be married and with children. You understand what I'm saying? Those things kind of edge you in. That's the reality of it. But then the 21-year-old right now is already edged in by what they see as societal expectations and societal commitments. Those things are terrible. And that's why you see that it looks good in terms of optics, But go to the hospital and check the blood pressure of a 21-year-old. My wife is a medical doctor. You'll be surprised that the blood pressure of a 21-year-old is like that of a 50-year-old. Because they are thinking about the same thing. They are not getting enough sleep. They are not playing. They are not eating well. You understand what I'm saying? So optically it looks good, but in reality it can be a very ugly thing.
I'm weak. I'm weak to my bones. So it is not a good thing. It is not. And I mean, people need to know this. Like, we have to loud it enough, because, as the day goes by, right, you see even young, that they're in their 20s. They're looking as though they are 35, 40.
Yep.
They look so
old.
So old.
Yeah.
So worked up, like, so tired. They're going for vacation. They're looking for how to rest. And you see a young man is looking younger. Another person is looking younger than them, and all of that. So now that brings us to, because there's only one thing they're all hustling for, is money. All right? So, because you've talked about purpose over and over again. I was in one of your events where you spoke about purpose, right? So, what is purpose? What is money? What is satisfaction? How do we not be under so much pressure? Because the pressure is real. Sometimes it gets to me too. I'll just call my friends and I'll be ranting. Like, I'm not way. Like, why am I here? Like, look at these people are doing things. What am I doing in my life? Oh my God! I'll be so overwhelmed, right? About what they are, what those people are doing. So where do we find what is purpose? What is money? What is satisfaction? And which one should we actually be going for? I mean, some of these things are not in the questions we are asking, but then this is Tola here. We cannot let him go. All right?
Yeah. You see, the thing about this thing called purpose or success, fulfillment, satisfaction is the fact that there are 3 wrong ways in which people judge their progress.
Wow.
3 common mistakes. If I were to ask everyone here right now and everyone watching, you will fall into one of these 3 mistakes. Now, number 1, a lot of people judge their progress by comparison. So they look at what I'm doing, see what my mate is doing. You understand? That's a very faulty way to judge whether you're making progress. And I don't blame them for doing that. A lot of times, it's the school that caused that. Traditional education was a good thing. It's a very toxic thing right now. Because what school tells you is that you are in a class with a lot of people and everybody has the same potential. So everybody should grow and achieve the same thing. So that's why when you don't do well in school, your parents will tell you, this guy that came first, does he have 2 heads? You understand? So what he's trying to say is that what he's achieving, you should be able to achieve it too.
Wow.
But the thing is that you don't judge people by their age. So you can't look at someone who is your age, who went to school with you, and say, look at what he's doing. See what Lekon is doing. See what I haven't done. The problem is you must always judge Lekon by Lekon's potential and judge yourself by your potential. So sometimes you celebrate people that are not living up to their potential.
Wow.
So I was talking to a classmate of mine during the week, and he said that we were talking about some of our other classmates, and we said, oh, this particular person in our class is doing so well. And we were eulogizing him. I was eulogizing him. And my friend was like, I don't see it that way. I'm like, yeah, we think he's doing well because he has his company. He has like 2 houses. He has a swimming pool in 2 houses. He has a fleet of cars. But he said, do you remember that guy in school? I said, I remember him in school. He said, what do you remember about him? And I said he was activist type kind of guy. He can gather up people and make them do anything. He was like a movement type of guy. And when we were even in our 200 level, he was competing for departmental president. And he said, what did you expect from him when we left school? And I thought about it. I'm like, man, to be honest with you, I expected that by now he will be the governor of a state. He said that's exactly what I expected from him too. That he would have been 2nd term in his governorship and be contesting for presidency right now. But now we are celebrating him because he has a big company. You see, he's doing well by physical standards. But according to his own potential, he's underachieving. He can do more than that.
Mm-hmm.
You see, somebody else who didn't have that potential, we should celebrate them building a company. So you can see some people, they are doing public speaking. And you see them, they might not be earning a lot of money, but the truth of the matter is they are living up to their potential. So you see, you cannot judge people by what they achieve in terms of what they have materially. Judge them by their potential. What are they meant to be able to do? So when you judge a bird that is able to fly to that table, and we start celebrating it compared to a chicken that can't fly past that table, that bird is failing because the bird should be flying in the air.
Yeah.
You understand? The chicken is doing well because it's even flying up to that table. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though they are both birds.
Yeah.
So it's a very wrong thing to judge your success based on what your mates are doing, because in the truth is nobody is your mate. You are yourself. So you need to know what your potential is. The second thing by which we judge our progress, which is faulty, is by our bucket list. So we have this unhealthy thing called a bucket list, an ambition, what I should be doing by 24. And you set this thing out when you were 14. By the time I'm 24, I should have a house, I should have this, I should have children and stuff like that. You are setting yourself up. And a lot of times, so by the time you're 24, you don't have a house, you're not married, you kind of see that you're failing.
The bucket will break.
Yes, so your bucket list has not been ticked. And so you think you are failing. And that's because we want to control life rather than being students of life. So we feel like I know what tomorrow will be. And so by that, we are setting ourselves up. So a lot of people that are disappointed in their lives right now is because they've told themselves that this is where they should be by a particular age. And the truth of the matter is you might not be there till you're 28 or 48 or 78. But the truth is that you'll never enjoy life if you are so destination minded. A lot of people are destination minded, so they are hating the journey because they are thinking, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? You understand? So that's a faulty way of judging your progress, because then you are not appreciating each day. You are looking for the penultimate day. So that's, I will be happy when I achieve this. So that's faulty, because then you are not living today for today. You are living today for what you want to achieve tomorrow.
Yeah.
The third thing, which is very dicey, and this one is not particularly your fault, it is the fault of your parents. I'm a parent, and I tell myself this every single day, that I should never do this to my children. A lot of people judge their success and progress by what they're able to do in return for their parents. So people think, I'm 28 right now. I'm not being able to buy a car for Momsi. I'm not being able to build a house for Daddy. I've not been able to pay their rent. I should be doing this right now. And that's what a lot of people feel. They kind of feel like they are failing because they are not able to do something that is reciprocal to what their parents have invested in them. Now, I say it's not your fault. This is something that has been put on you by your parents psychologically. Some more obviously, so parents will say, I'm sending you to school, you see the sacrifice I'm doing and stuff like that. Make sure you do well so you can take care of us. And so there was a day I was out, and my daughter was telling me something. She said, Daddy, can you do this for me? I said, I'm not doing that. And she said, Daddy, if you do it for me, I'll buy you a Tesla truck when I grow up. And at first I laughed, but then I stopped. I'm like, why does this girl think she needs or she owes me anything when she grows up? That's already pressure. And so I didn't talk to her about it. I just said, Tola, you need to change your positioning. There's something about you that is giving her the impression that she is a retirement plan. And so some of you are like thinking you are failing at your parents' retirement plans. So a lot of people say, I'm not doing well because look, my mom now, I'm not able to do. But one thing we must learn as parents is, because you're going to be parents one day, most of you here, is to learn to understand that your kids are not yours. So you must learn to raise them to let them go rather than raise them to take care of you. You understand? So your kids are a responsibility given to you to release to the world. But a lot of people have kids, they raise them and they hedge them. You understand? So that they can take care of them. And these kids live with pressure. So you realize that most people that feel they are not doing well is either they are looking at their peers, they are looking at their bucket list, or they are looking at their relatives, either their parents or their siblings, and saying, I should be doing this by now. And that's actually the failed mentality to this thing we call success or prosperity or things like that.
I mean, you guys have questions, right? Please pen your questions down because it's about to get started. I mean, thank you very much, Abo, for touching about this, because I think that is what people now are supposed to hear. So we can chill, take a chill pill, because people, this is real low. People are really going through this pressure. A lot of people, even from home, like you said, which I wasn't expecting. They gradually do it from black tax, some fake illness, just to get your attention and empathy, some fake house rent, some, there are a lot of my pikin don't they work. It's supposed don't send us bag of rice.
Oh yeah, that's the reality. If you look at people that do crime, a lot of times, I'm sorry to say this, but a lot of them are motivated by their parents. So if I were to get a ministerial appointment right now, the first people that will come are not strangers, are my relatives. My brother is this right now. What does that truly mean? It means that I am there for them. But the truth of the matter is, if you have a public office, you are not there for those people, your family. You understand? You are there to do an assignment. But when you start looking at your family, you will still, it's inevitable, you will still, because they would come and they will make you feel like if you are the opportunity for that family. You understand? And once you start seeing yourself as a singular opportunity for a particular people, then you're already distracted. You stop focusing on the work and start thinking of how you start paying people back. So you're like, do you remember I carried you when you were small? I changed your pampers. I did this, that kind of thing. So you feel indebted to them. So you need to have a strong mind if you are going to be successful.
They're talking about strong mind. How do you even handle that? Because it's definitely going to happen, right? Black tax is going to come up. People are going, because right now in the country we are in, we are seeing a lot of that, right? We even amongst celebrities, right? There are some celebrities that their parents will be calling. According to them, their parents is not picking their call. There are some of them, that have to, some of the celebrities have to build houses and make them landlords.
Yeah.
All right. Yet the money is still not enough for them. To what end is all of this? Because very soon some of us are going to blow, and get offices and all of that. We need to know how to handle all of that, right? Because I know it's going to come, and your family might just go and publish a newspaper. Right? Man abandons family over success. So we need to see how we can, make sure that is not our case. Yeah. So
yeah, I think the way to handle this, I say this, parents are very important. Parenting is the biggest task a human being can have.
Wow.
The biggest. It's the biggest. It's the biggest. I don't know, how many people are parents, but it's the biggest. If you want to do it right, see, parenting done right is hard. If parenting is easy, you're not doing it right. It's hard. That is hard is showing that you're doing it right. You understand? So it's a hard task. And it's hard because when you're a parent, you are God to a child in its formative years, because children don't have any concept of a spiritual God. Doesn't make sense to them that there's something out there called God. No, you are God. So when they call you call yourself mommy and daddy, what they see is God and God. So they believe you as daddy can do anything. You and mommy can do anything. And so it's a very powerful position to be in, to be a parent. But I say this, there are three things a parent must teach children. Number one is compassion. Number two is contentment. And number three is confidence. You see, for you to overcome this black tax thing, because people will tax you. People always tax you. You understand? If you dress well, people will tax you. You understand? If you dress well, people will tax you. But the problem is that because our validity normally comes from the outside, we don't want to let people down. So you see, there are some places I go to, and I learned this the hard way. In Nigeria, the biggest taxing industry is not FIRS, it's security agencies. Anywhere, the security man here will tax you. Afternoon, sir. Happy weekend, sir. Go to American embassy. They will do the same thing. It's like a course on that industry. You understand? They will tax you. And you see, there was a place I was going, and I used to work there, and the security would always tax. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, well done, sir. You're looking good, sir. You see, and because you don't want to let them down, they held you so much, you put your hand in your pocket and give them. But you see, the thing is that's because you are insecure. You are insecure, you understand? So you don't want to let go of that praise. A lot of our culture is founded on insecurity. That's why you realize that, you see, I'm a Yoruba guy, and it's in every culture, you understand? Not just Yoruba culture, but I'll talk about my culture. Yoruba culture, just have a party and have someone just drumming and calling your name, and see people just raining out money to them. It shows insecurity. It shows they don't know who they are. I say, just calling me and my head is swelling. It shows that you don't really know who you are. And so you see people that don't have anything, when they're going for a party, they will go and change that money just because they can. You see, but if you're not going to be taxed, you have to know exactly who you are. So that whether people say it or not, you can walk away. You understand? Because it's just like dropping money in a well. All these celebrities that give money to their parents and everything, why are they giving? Because, number one, their audience out there have started dragging them. Oh, this guy, his father is, look how rich he is. If you care so much about your audience, you see, if you live by their validation, you will die by their criticism. You understand? That's the truth. So when they start to criticize you, you'll be like, okay, what does it take for this criticism to go away? Build a house for your father. Yeah. Build a house for your father. They'll keep quiet. But the problem is how far does this rabbit hole go? So if you don't know yourself, people would always kind of blackmail you. So it all comes down to how well you know yourself. You understand? And how comfortable you are in your skin. And if your parents did not give that to you, it will be very hard, but not impossible, for you to build it on your own. And so you see, if I don't have confidence and I'm coming here, I will ask a friend of mine who has a car that I think is up to the perception of people to give me his car for the weekend, so that I can drive it here to give an impression. I would ask people to give me their clothes, which is what people do right now, because they don't, confidence was not inbuilt in them from the beginning, so they're not comfortable in their skin. And that's what that way you are being taxed. If you are not confident in yourself, people will tax you. Just like if you do not know the law, policemen will tax you. You understand? Some people just stop and say, "Why did you park there? Why didn't you do this?" But I say, is it illegal to do that? You understand what I'm saying? If you are confident, you can, and you like that when you challenge them, you know the law. I can do this. They'll tell you, go. Because they realize that you are aware of who you are and what is accrue you. You understand that kind of thing? But people are not confident. They'll be like, this guy is a policeman, let me give him. You understand that kind of thing? So I think it comes to self-awareness a lot of times. If you are being taxed, you are not aware and you are trying to please people too much. And that will never end. It will never end.
Interesting. So, yeah. So I think, that, like you said, everything boils down to being self-aware and being aware of who you are and the laws. There is a I won't call him a celeb. Yeah, he's a lawyer that mentioned something one time. You know, that some people give money to police for some reason that is even lower. They pay up to 50,000 naira for a crime that is not up to 4K in the court. Right? And it makes a lot of sense. So we pay for, because we don't know who we are.
Because you don't know, yeah.
And we, you mentioned something that, you know, when you vibe, like when everything you do is about the audience, right? Very soon they are going to stone you for the same reasons they praise you, you know, initially. So I think that brings me back to like the true nature and the true value of influence in today's world, right? What do people think influence is? And what is it not? Because brands ride on it. The government ride on it. Businesses ride on it. And we have these people who call influencers, which people don't read meaning to what the word influencer means. And then a lot of people now think that because my influencer is behaving like this, that is to say they are like that. So what is the true meaning of influence in today's world, and how do we carefully pick who influences us? Because eventually all of us are being influenced in one way or the other, right? I mean, somehow,
yeah,
we just, you know, if something will just touch you. So like, what do you have to say about that?
I think it's a good question. because that word influencer is one of the most abused words today. A lot of people we call influencers or regard as influencers are manipulators. So we have confused manipulation for influencing. And what's manipulation? Manipulation is a means by which you get people not to think, to act in a particular way. Influencing, the biggest difference between manipulation and influencing is how you get people to think deeply and change the way they act. So what you realize is a lot of what people are doing is manipulation right now. So what you see as influencing is someone trying to sell a product. And so they sell this person, use your popularity to sell this product. And so you stop people from thinking and really questioning the product to just continue to look at you. Just like magic. Magic is not influencing. Magic is manipulation. So magic is look at this hand while I do something else with this hand. You understand? And so what the influencer is doing is using their celebrity to get you not to look at the fine details and just go out and buy stuff and just go out and join stuff and just go out and bet on stuff. You understand? And that's manipulation. And that's why if you actually stayed to think a little, you don't even have to think deeply. You will see through the manipulation to seeing that you are being used as a pawn and not being helped as a person. You understand? So if you look at it, you see some celebrities act as brand influencers for a particular, let's say, phone, for a particular phone brand, which is not meant to be a prestigious phone. I don't want to mention any phone brand now, but just think of a phone made in China or stuff like that. And they have a celebrity holding it and talking and stuff like that. But you never stop to think that guy doesn't use that phone. That guy uses this other type of phone that has a fruit at the back. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you use the good one to take picture of the old one.
You get it. You understand? You use the good one, take picture. You totally get it. You see, but you see, you had to think about that.
Yeah.
The average person doesn't think of that. The average person doesn't think, how come what he's using to shoot that thing is way clearer than the phone he's advertising? So you see a particular influencer advertise a kid's snack. It might be chin chin or whatever it is, but you know this guy doesn't eat chin chin. He doesn't eat chin chin. Trust me. He doesn't eat it, but it's the brand influencer. Why do you believe that he eats that thing? You understand? Because what he has done is you are so carried away by the general perception, by the celebrity, that you're not thinking whether the celebrity actually uses this thing. And that's why celebrities that will tell you about the worst ones are the ones that have to do with your health. They tell you use this cream, use this, and the next week they are using another one, and they will never put that cream on their body. Never. Yeah. You understand? But that's manipulation to get you to buy. Influencing is how you get people to think.
Wow.
You challenge their thinking.
Yeah. And
so one thing about influencing, how you can tell, is that a manipulator wants you to act now. Wants you to act now. They tell you, if you can use this code right now, you will have a special offer. When people start telling you, use something right now, have a special offer, it will close in 3 days' time, the chances that they are trying to manipulate you.
Wow.
Influencing gives time to think. You understand? In fact, an influencer doesn't tell you what to do.
Yeah.
An influencer just tells you what they think, and they leave it for you to think about it and to align with it or not. So when you think about it, how many people out there that we call influencers are actually influencers? They tell you to watch movies that they've never watched. They tell you to buy products that they will never, that kind of thing. So that's the difference. Are you allowed to think? Does it make sense? Are you giving time? That's the difference between influencing and manipulation.
I mean, anybody online that you have questions, just drop it. I mean, we are keeping all our questions, and this makes this is serious, and we'll do our best to get this word out there, so people can actually, learn how to start thinking, especially for themselves, because the easiest way the devil, get to manipulate people is to give them time constraints,
Yeah.
right? I realize, give you time constraint, tell you, if you don't do this at a particular time, that you don't have time. I think that brings us back to time.
Yeah.
There's an interview I listened. There's a book by Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. He was talking about time, and the idea of hypnotic rhythm. The devil don't have to be manipulating you one after the other. It just causes one thing to happen, put that restriction there. By yourself, you start putting yourself under such subjection, and over again, you become what he is, and you start doing the same to other people. And I think that is also like the worship of mammon, money, right? And which you just highlighted. Now, let's look at the media. You highlighted that a little bit, all right? How is the media and these products, just a little bit, but how is the media shaping our identities? Because you realize, lately we've had more gender identities, we've had more lifestyles, we have more people, trying to, make people behave a certain way. I don't know if that now is influencing or manipulation, but now it will also trickle down to family, which means that if a particular kind of lifestyle is encouraged, it might affect the family life later. So how do you think the media is doing that? And how do you think we can be careful enough to, avoid such reign of absurdity on us, especially in this day and time where it's easy to get information?
This media thing, it's been a long time coming. It hasn't happened suddenly. I think people need to understand that. Media started with print.
Okay.
Mass media started with print. Went into radio, from radio to TV, from TV to internet, from internet to social media right now. Started with print, and that's where it went wrong. And this is where I'm going to touch a little bit on religion. Okay. Because a lot of people might think religion and media don't, but they do. Religion plays a very, very big part in how the media has gotten to corrupt us. You see, the printing press, or the print press, was developed by a German man, how to print and mass produce things. Now, he wanted to market that thing, and the first people he sold it to were the Christians. He tried to sell it to Muslims, but they didn't buy it because they didn't like it. They felt like their scripture, which is the Quran, was holy. And so something that is holy should not be mass produced mindlessly. Okay. People have to take their time to write it out, so that as you write it, you learn it. Okay. So they feel that this thing shouldn't be microwaved. Okay. So they turned him down. The Arab world turned him down. And so he sold it to the West, which was majorly Christians. And they were like, this is cool. And one thing I want you to know about Christians at that time was that a lot of Christianity had been taken over by the Romans at that point in time when the print press was developed. And one thing you must know about the Romans is the Romans were very flamboyant people. They were very flamboyant, they were very hedonistic, they were very sensual. And so when they saw this thing, not only did they use it for Christianity, and they were very power hungry, they used it as a means of propaganda. They used it to take over the world. And that hasn't stopped. Because when we talk about the West is Roman culture spread throughout, from Europe to America to Australia and stuff like that. And these are the people that control the media today. And a lot of their culture is very twisted. You understand? It's still that innate Roman culture. Romans, they had no boundaries. They had no boundaries. Just that history doesn't record how depraved they were. They were very, very sensual people. So what we are doing now is no different from what was in their line. However, when you looked more towards the East, which was more Arab, Asia, they were more spiritual people. And they had more family values, more intrinsic human values. But since they missed that opportunity, which they tried to jump on later on and started producing Qurans afterwards, by mass printing. But then the Christians in that time had so much time ahead of them, and it was now in the hands of the Romans. And so that's where we are today. Media has become a means of control. It is a means of passing information and making you, in fact, when I say control, it's still that manipulative thing I'm talking about, to stop you from thinking about what's important to you, and for somebody to implant it in your head what should be important. You understand? So that's the basis of the media. And that's why you realize that every time there is a company or an organization or a startup that tries to wrestle out influence of the media from the West, the West will strangle them. So you see TikTok had a very huge battle late last year and early this year, where they were going to shut them down in the West. And they had to call them to the table and say, what do you guys want from us? And in the end, the consensus was, you must allow us influence of these people. Do whatever you want to do with your people, but we must control TikTok content that gets to our people. You understand? So the truth of the matter is, there's no easy escape from the media in terms of trying to have a mindset. The only easy escape from the media is spirituality. I'll say it that way. If you do not have a spiritual book that sets a standard for you, the media will control your mind. You have media values, you have spiritual values. So for every time you watch something on TV or see something on Instagram, if you do not have something that you go back to and say, does it align with this thing, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And so when you see people that say, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in religion, I don't read anything, no Quran, no Bible, no nothing, I don't pray, those people are like free, they're like bait, you understand? Because media would be your Bible, media would be your religion, media would be your belief system, and that belief system is very toxic.
And then you now carry it to your family, your relationships.
Everything, yes, you carry it to everything. You carry that, that's what your children would see. You understand? That's what your spouse will carry, and that just begins to just go on and on.
So, like, the point here is that we must find that point where we must embrace our spirituality, and find a way to detox from, the because, like you said, like, it's real. A lot of people come on media, like, you hear this here, somebody is saying this there, they'll tell you it's their opinion, and by the end of the day, you self don't even have an opinion.
Yeah.
Right? And you come into where we're having conversation, nobody is thinking again, everybody's agreeing to what one of their idolo, like what they call idolo, those. So one of those their idolo said that it is, right? One thing they heard in the news, something they heard here, one thing, somebody that sounds like is wise.
People give more personal quotes now than any Bible quote or something like that. They quote people more now. You understand? This person said this. This person said that. This person said this. You understand? So that's what's there. You understand? And that's what media does. So when you call them idolo, something must have a hold on you. You understand? So something must be your God.
Yeah.
This thing about atheism doesn't exist. There must be a God. You understand? It's either your God is people, your God is
a stone.
Something must be there that dictates how you live your life and how you measure progress in your life.
Yeah. So now, talking about that, right? There's this, we are moving from, now it's not even about Gen Z again. There's a new generation, right? That's the Gen Alpha. Like, we are recycling, we are starting the alphabet from beginning. That means there will be another Gen Z.
Yes, yeah.
So, so now, there are things that is okay now, like, because of the media, the new culture, I think that it is okay now for them to do, like, they're trying to convince us that, the millennials or the baby boomers, whatever they call it, the people from the past, they are very slow, they don't have sense, they don't move, they take a lot of rubbish, you see, they snap their fingers when they're talking. So now, how, like, are there really things that these guys are not seeing? Someone believes that what an elder sits down to see a child will climb a mango tree will not see the child say no, that an elder refused to stand up, that after he has done all the work to climb up and see, you are telling him that he cannot see, whatever that means.
Yeah.
So now, are there lessons? Are there things that are standard that you cannot, do without? Whether you climb the tree, whether you sit down, right? That the culture, because these lessons have to stay here when we are all gone. Somebody have to say it. Is the way these guys are moving, is it the right way? Is there something wrong with the way they are thinking? Or if not, or are we the ones that have the problem? Maybe we should have everything. Because thinking about it again, if we have gone their way, or if we should think the way they are thinking, there won't be systems and structures. There won't even meet houses.
If you go the way who is
if
thinking.
we go the way this Gen Z, this new generation, our generation are thinking, there won't be. You wake up, MTN people they are not at work. They tell you they don't feel like doing it today, right? You understand my point? Like you want to make call, network is not working.
Yeah.
You come to the streets, nobody is there. Tell you that I don't feel like doing it today. I want to know: is there like any lessons? Are there things that are standards, principles, or canons that we must, whether you are Gen Z, Gen Beta, Gen Theta, whenever those gens come, are there things that are standard we cannot overlook? You cannot not know this, right? You cannot not do this a certain way. So this is more like new generation versus traditional morals. Which of them are relevant today, and how do we, strike that balance?
Yeah, you said something there. You gave a proverb that what the elders see sitting down, the young one will not see if they climbed a tree. And I think this is where I want us to realize something, that there will be no, young people will not climb trees if elders told them better stories about what was ahead.
Okay.
You understand?
You need to take that again.
As in, these young children, the reason why they are climbing trees in the first place is because elders are not saying anything.
Okay.
So young children
want to... I said you take it again now.
Young children want to discover themselves.
Okay.
It is curiosity that is making them climb a tree. If you satisfy curiosity, they will sit down. So you see, I don't really like that narrative that we act like Gen Z dropped from the sky. They didn't drop from the sky.
Yes.
They were made. They were raised by people. They were raised by elders. We castigate them a lot, but we made them. And when I say we, I'm talking about people in my generation and stuff, because a lot of you are still younger. But it's not your fault. But the narrative has been made, this Gen Z, they are impatient, they are this, they are that. Who made them? We made Frankenstein. You understand what I'm saying? Look, there's the boomer, there's Gen X, there's millennials, there's Gen Z. I don't know if I missed out anyone. Alpha.
You're on track, sir.
Yes.
You know this.
We made all, if there's a fault in one generation, it was created by the one before them. So instead of blaming blame the one before them. And what I see is that a lot of older people, elders in quote, they're not talking. They don't talk enough. And they will tell you, you don't come for advice. But you see, this kind of thing, we kind of make it seem like the dynamics is very funny. So we kind of make it seem like the younger ones should chase the older ones. No, the older ones should chase the younger ones to tell them what to do. You understand? Because the younger ones know better. You understand? So the younger ones are the victims. But you see, the elders acting victimized. And they don't come, they don't ask for advice and stuff, but you didn't chase them with it. Why do you think I'm here? I'm here because I knew that there will be younger people listening. If there's any means of talking, I would always come out and talk. You understand? That's why I do a podcast. I do it every day so that people can learn. And so, you see, and it's not for my mates. It's for people younger than me. It's for my children, for people after me. If we start talking, they will stop climbing trees. I'll put it this way. We all handed down something that was questionable. So, initially, I'll tell you how we got to where we were. Initially, I'll say my grandfather's time. they handed over to their children, they need to go to school. You need to go to school. Leave that farm, go to school. And then they created a generation of people that prioritize going to school. Then that generation of people that prioritize going to school created a generation of people that told their children, don't just go to school.
Get a skill too.
Do very well, be the best in your class. Before, going to school was just okay. There was nothing about being the best. That you go to school was an achievement. But then going to school became ubiquitous. It was everywhere. There was nothing unique about it. Then they started telling people, if you go to school, be the first. You understand? And then generation came and taught people, don't just be the first. Go to school, get a good job. You see how we're going from that school now to job now. And then another generation came and told people, don't just get a good job that pays you loads of money. And then now we are a generation that say, don't just get a good job that gets you loads of money. Get loads of money and get a lot of popularity. In fact, if you don't need to go to school, but don't go to school, but focus on getting a good job and be popular. That's why you see that a lot of influencers today, there's one guy that my daughter told me about. He's on TikTok. He's a Nigerian. He says he's the biggest TikTok.
Is he young?
He's young.
He's a very young boy.
A very young boy. But you see, the way he talks, does it sound like someone that went to school?
No.
It doesn't. But he doesn't need to go to school because he's making a lot of money and is very popular.
Which is what we think that matters.
Yes, because the governor of the state is telling you it matters. The governor of the state will come and shake you, come and meet you at the airport because you are popular and you have a lot of money. They don't need to. They don't need to write a textbook. Their attitude already shows that. So when we look at Gen Z, the Gen Z was created by a lot of other generations that dropped the ball. So if you look at it now, you realize that Gen Z's prioritize popularity, online popularity. Who created the concept of online popularity? The likes of Jack Dorsey. Is Jack Dorsey a Gen Z? Jack Dorsey created a platform called Twitter. The thing about Twitter is to gather followers. You understand? But he's not a Gen Z, but he has created the value system for Gen Z. He's 48 years old. People like Zuckerberg created that follow system, follow, share, like, that kind of thing, follow, build an audience. Is he a Gen Z? He's 40 years old. So we create the value that the Gen Z has now. It was created by other people, created by millennials and Gen X people. So it's not a matter of what can the Gen Z learn. It's what are those people before them, what are they teaching? What are they chasing them with? They're not teaching. We're not teaching good values. Look, there's a movie out there right now. It's just raking up views, like if it's about to go extinct. I watch it today, 70 million, 80 million. So me and my wife said we'll sit down and watch this movie. I don't usually watch Nigerian movies, but then I watched this one because how can something be growing so astronomically? And so we watched it. The story wasn't all that wow. The acting was okay, but then what disturbed me the most about this movie was the sick value systems. So there are parts in the movie that encourage having sex on the first day. So there was a part where the lady was talking about having sex with a man. She met him the first day and she was like, she didn't have sex with him. She was just slept in the same hotel. She was telling her friends, and friends were like, so what happened? Said nothing happened. We slept. And I went, come on, and like when did we get to that place where we encourage the female to just let go with a stranger? But that film wasn't written or directed by a Gen Z, but it's painting their values. The person that wrote and directed that film has a husband, has children that are married right now. You understand what I'm saying? So if you criticize the Gen Z, it's very unfair. What did we lay down for them? We didn't lay down good values. You understand? So we didn't lay down. If the Gen Z is not going to church, it's because their fathers did not go to church. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or the fathers went to church and they still came back home to beat their mothers. You understand? So we failed somewhere. A generation doesn't fail without the assistance of the preceding generation.
Yeah. This is Mr. Tola. You've no one clap. What's going on here now? Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. So we'll go on just a 2-3 minutes recess.